Hey everybody, here's a real general schematic for this custom foot switch for the 11 rack. You need single pole, double throw, full size momentary push button switches, and a stereo 1/4 inch audio jack. Make sure you get some actual electronic solder. Plumbing solder doesn't work. Copper, pipe solder, that kind of stuff. Don't even bother with it. Get some actual electrical solder. Soldering up a custom foot switch like this is actually really easy. There's just 2 solder joints on each of the 2 switches, and then 3 solder joints on the jack. One thing to consider though is some of these switches, if you buy cheaper brands, leave the soldering iron on there for a long time, really let the internals heat up, you can damage the switch, so try to be quick. Make sure you have real solid solder joints. Alright, here what I'm doing, I've just got a basic continuity tester. You can see it says open and short there. And you just want to test and make sure that your switches, the 2 poles that you're soldering to, are the 2 that activate when you tap the switch. So here I'm tapping the switch. As you can see, it's shorting momentarily when I touch the switch down. And here I'm checking the other one. And those are the 2 poles of the switch that I soldered my wires to that go to the jack. With the way the 11 rack's set up for non-midi external switching, that momentary short on those switches will cause it to go up preset or down preset. And actually you can assign it to do other things like, say, turn on a flanger, turn off a flanger, and turn on and off delays, that kind of thing. So really you can do whatever you want. You can control any 2 parameters you set it to. You'll see later that I've got mine set to go up and down through the presets. And here I've got my enclosure back together and looks like everything's ready to go. You'll notice in this enclosure I've actually got 2 other switches labeled amp. That's for a different part of my rig. They don't control the 11 rack. It can only have up to the 2 external foot switches or an expression pedal. You can see here you just use a regular stereo 1/4 inch jack. Plug it into the 11 rack where it's labeled external foot switch. Then take the other end of that cord, plug it into the external foot switch, and you're pretty much ready to go.
Thank you.